Hello everyone and welcome. This is Chloe here at Cousin DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable little rainbow using pony beads, pom-poms, and chenille sticks, along with a couple other things. So let's get started. The first step is to load your pony beads onto your chenille sticks. I'm using white chenille sticks, and I'm going to start with red, which has the most pony beads. And our pony beads that come in the package, our rainbow package, come in opaque and clear. And I'm going to alternate between the two and load them on in alternating order. So I've got clear, opaque, and I'm just going to continue with that until I have 39 on my chenille stick. The next step is to take an 18-inch length of 20 gauge wire. I have mine pre-cut. And for each set of beads, we're just going to slide that right alongside the chenille stick. And center that in the beads. We're going to do that for each color. Okay. Now we have our wire and our chenille sticks through all of our beads. And the next step is going to be to curve. I'm going to start with the bottom of the rainbow, the least amount, which is purple, of beads. And I'm going to give that a little curve. And then I'm going to wrap the chenille stick around the wire. I don't know, 4 or 5 times on each side. And I want to make sure that my bend is in place. I'm gonna, we'll be trimming the tails of the chenille sticks off, but I'm not gonna do that quite yet. We're gonna do the same with each color. Okay, at this point, there's just enough of a tail here on the red where I'm sticking the chenille stick back up inside the last pony bead on each side. So there won't be a sharp edge or anything exposed when we put our rainbow together. Okay, so there's red. As we go on, the tails of the chenille sticks will get longer and longer, so we may have to trim a little bit off to have just the right amount to slide back up in the last bead on each side. Okay, now that we have these all prepared, the next step is to slide these wires down through our pom-poms in order, left and right, to try to line them up. It's a little tricky, as you can see, trying to line them up so there'll be room enough on the pom-pom for all 6 strands. So we're going to start, whoops, stand up. So we're going to start with the purple because that's the bottom color in our rainbow. And we're going to start near the edge of one pom-pom, making sure it goes down all the way through, and near the inner edge of our other pom-pom. And you might have to play with this a little bit as you go, making sure they're getting positioned. I'm not going to bend this yet. The next step will be to bend these wires on the bottom, but I'm not going to do that yet. Next, we're going to move on to blue. Well, actually, maybe I am but I'm not going to cut them yet. Next, blue, and we're going to try to tuck it right so that it's going to line up right next to your purple. And do the same on this side. I think it's important for me to mention that, you know, this isn't intended to be a toy. It's purely decorative, like to set on a shelf or a dresser. And you're just going to kind of play with it as you go to make sure things are lining up the way you need them to. Next will be green. That's looking pretty good. So the next step is going to be to cut the wires on the bottom, and I am going to switch the direction I've bent them. I'm going to bend them that way. And that way, if you see. And then double check and make sure everything's still looking good, and it is. So now I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to trim these, I don't know, to about 1 1/4 inches or so. My cutters are a little dull, so bear with me. Here's that side. Once again, I want to make sure they're, I want to come down a little bit further. Okay. then I decided to make this more stable that it needed some kind of a base underneath the pom-poms. So I looked around my house and I found a paint stick, and this is the end of what's left of it. And I cut 2 1.5 inch lengths like this. And then I sanded them with my sandpaper. And then I painted them with this white acrylic paint. Like so. And the last step is going to be to glue those onto the bottom of our wires, and it will, cover the wires, and it will also make this more stable standing up. So I need to turn on my glue gun because I'm going to use a glue gun to do this. I'm going to set that up and I'll be right back. Now that the glue gun's all heated up, it's time for our last step, and that is to glue these little pieces of wood onto the bottom of the pom-poms to cover up the wires. So I'm going to I just had to add another stick, so there we go. You want to be pretty liberal with the amount, and then we're going to push it right over those wires so they're not exposed. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. If you make a rainbow at home, I hope you find a pot of gold at the end of yours. We'd also like you to share it with us on Instagram at #CreateWithCousin. Thanks for joining us today. See you next time. Bye.